let's move on. Big one. Texas going to Tuscaloosa. I can't wait for this game. We called it last year, and it was a phenomenal game in Austin. In a lot of respects, I felt like Texas was unfortunate that they didn't get the win. They were unfortunate because a couple of calls went against them. They got banged up at the most important position, quarterback position, and then they had to play against Bryce Young. And Bryce Young single-handedly brought Alabama back and won that football game. And now we get the rematch. And I know Texas has been looking forward to this ever since that day. Even though they went on, played down to the level of their competition a few times. Listen, there's a lot of pressure on Texas. There's a lot of pressure on Steve Sarkisian in this game. If they go out there and lose this game, in particular if they are, quote, like handled, or if it's by more than a touchdown, more than a possession, man, I know that Texas fan base. They're not going to handle that all that well. And there's going to be a lot of chirping surrounding Steve Sarkisian. Now, do I think it would be warranted? No, I don't, actually. But that's the nature of Texas. It's very much the same nature of like Ohio State. A lot of chirping about Ryan Day. Should there be? No, of course there shouldn't be. But there will be because of the insane nature of those fan bases, the unrealistic nature of those fan bases at times. Bama's favored by 7.5. I personally think that's too high. That's too high. When I turn on the film and I watched Bama play last week against Middle Tennessee, I see a team that was just so dominant up front that all they had to do was run the football. And then everyone's like, well, yeah, Milroe made a couple of nice throws. Yeah, he did. He made a couple of nice throws. But when you really look at that game from the first quarter, early second quarter, like when they're still like in the game and needing to establish dominance, they didn't have him throw much. And the throws that they were having him make were easy, simple throws. And frankly, he missed a couple of them. So I still have major questions about Jalen Milroe and his ability, in particular in a game in which like he's going to have to go make plays. Can he do that? Now, I trust his legs, obviously. You know, he fumbled the one snap and runs for a touchdown. That's quite impressive. And the ability to threaten a defense with your legs is important, in particular when they've got such a stout running game, which they do. It's going to be tough for Texas. It's going to be very tough. But the game really is about Quinn Ewers. The game is about Quinn Ewers. Here's a guy that has all the talent in the world. In that game last year, he was the reason why Texas had come out and played so well and with so much energy to begin that game. Taking shots down the field, throwing it accurately on those shots. And Bama was reeling. They were reeling. If Ewers stays healthy in that game, it's probably a different story, but you know what? He didn't. He didn't stay healthy. Can he recreate that same magic? I'm not sure. And that's the question for me. His ability to throw the ball down the field that day, exquisite. Since, not great. In fact, if you look at his struggles, they seeped into this year. So they faced Rice last week. He goes 0 for 6 on 20-yard throws. It hasn't quite, like, I thought, like, after that game last year and then what he did against OU, I'm like, okay, like, here we go. Like, they're on their way. And they might be. But it just hasn't quite come all the way around. And that's frustrating. Ewers is 1-4 against ranked teams. That's going to have to change. Sarkisian knows that. He's got, and I know this sounds crazy. He's got the team that should win this game. Whether they do that or not remains to be seen. Ewers, this is all over them. This is all over him. If they can put this game on the arm of Milroe, they'll be in a great spot. Texas will be. All of that being said, do you guys know how difficult it is to beat a top 5 team, on the road in their building? It's almost impossible. Here's some numbers to back that up. First of all, Alabama has won their last 52 home games when they didn't have to face Joe Burrow. So if you throw Burrow in there, it's 52-1. Joe Burrow is one of the best players on the planet. Okay? Ask everybody in the NFL. Like this guy's and he had the greatest single quarterback season I've ever seen. That's the only home game that team has lost in the last 53 games. That's staggering. Is Ewers as good as Joe Burrow? I'm not sure. Now, he's not going against Tagovailoa. He's not going against Hurts. He's not going against Mac Jones. He's not going against Bryce Young. All right, so this is a little bit different Alabama team, but 53 games and only one loss is staggering. Teams that were ranked in the top 5 a year ago, 30-1 at home. The only loss was when Michigan, who was a great team, rolled into Columbus and beat Ohio State. Teams ranked in the top 5 are 24-3 at home against top 15 opponents since 2019. Only 3 games where we've seen a top 15 team roll into a top 5 team and win. LSU, Burrow over Alabama. Oregon over Ohio State. Michigan over Ohio State. Buckeye fans, stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it right there. So that's where we're at. I want to pick Texas. You don't overcome that. I think that the line is too much. I think Bama wins a close one, maybe by 3. Thank you for watching the Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel. And if you liked this clip, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. And you can stay up to date on all of my college football coverage.